I don't like this. What is this? Why? All right, so it has been, what, 2.5 months? And I've been sitting here for the last 5 minutes trying to figure out how to even start or speak to the camera. I found, even though I've only done 3 episodes so far, but when I did the last one, I was feeling more comfortable, and now I feel like I'm starting from scratch again. Anyways, hi, I am Kat, and welcome to my channel. This is the 4Hooks, 4Loves knitting podcast. There you go, I've already blanked. What is wrong with me? Okay. So, welcome back. If you've been here before, welcome. If you are a new viewer, I am so happy to finally be finding a moment in time to record again. It's definitely been a minute, and a lot's been going on in life, so I'll fill you in at the end because I know not everybody is interested in life stuff, but coming to you today from a very hot and sunny and bright and cheerful Toronto, Canada. It's about, I don't know, 30 something degrees today, and I just put the AC on really cold, and I'm still boiling hot, so I'll be hopefully remembering to drink my water every now and then. And before wasting any more time, let's just get started. So I'll start today with a finished object that I finished. I don't even know when I finished this in May, early May, I think. I am wearing the outline tank. This is a design by Jessie Maed Designs, and I knit this out of Borgo di Pazzi, Giza, and Egyptian cotton. I had wanted to try this yarn because I had heard about, you know, through watching a few different podcasts, a few different people in Europe using it, and I happened to see it at one of the local yarn stores here, so I thought I would try. I got it in the color, well, see here on the tag they just say color number 40, but I know on the website I believe they called it linen, whatever. So it's very, very soft, I'll say that. I did not love knitting with it, if I'm being honest. I don't know exactly why. It was soft, but it also felt dry. Does that make sense? Dry. I think it felt a bit too dry in my hands. I don't know. I've knitted with cotton before, many different types of cotton. This is my first time using this brand, and again, so soft, but I don't know, I didn't like the way it was feeling through my hands. And I have another 5 balls in a different color that are just staring at me on a shelf that I had bought for a project, but after knitting this, I'm like, I don't really want to feel that through my fingers again. But anyways, maybe I'll get over it. I'll show you what the finished object looks like. I knit this with the intention, like I usually go for color. I'm not really a neutral person, but I had bought this with the intention of making something to go with. These are my absolute most favorite summer pants. These are my elephant pants, and I have them in 3 different colors, and I just find that I wanted something to wear with the brown one. And I typically, like, I had my eye on this pattern. I'll show it to you. I had my eye on the pattern for a while. I had seen other people make it. I thought it looked great. On some people, I thought it looked like way too oversized, and other people, it was like not oversized. So I thought I would give it a shot. I followed the pattern, like instructions according to positive ease and whatnot, and I chose a size. But it was quite the adventure. There's a story. So I was knitting it. If you've been watching from the last 2 episodes, I'd say, then you'd know that I suffered a concussion at work on March 10th. And it's been really, really hard. The recovery process was really long. And there were many, many days and nights passed and I just couldn't get out of bed. And this went on for weeks and weeks. And I've sought so much treatment. I'm seeing all these specialists and doctors, and I've finally turned a corner and I'm getting there. But at the time when I was knitting this, I was not in the best of headspace. Anyways, so honestly, I don't even remember if I gauge swatched. I don't even remember. I typically don't. I'll typically just start knitting, and while I'm knitting, when it gets big enough, I'll check, and if it's completely off, I'll just rip it out. I have no problem doing that. It doesn't bother me at all. But I can't remember what exactly I did with this. One of the symptoms I've had with this concussion is it's affected my memory greatly, and I can't remember much of anything in terms of short-term memory anymore. So I can't answer that question on if I gauge swatched or not. But I had the yarn and I thought, all right, let's do it. So I was knitting it and everything was going along fine, whatever. I can't remember if I stopped to check the gauge, but I just kept going. I was in a rhythm. And when I was about 3/4 of the way through, I thought, oh, this is going to be huge. This is not going to fit. And at that point, I was knitting the 4th size, which is the large. Well, friends, I kept going right to the end, and this thing was massive, massive. So I checked the gauge, and I was way off. I don't even remember what it was, but I was way off. Let me see. The pattern calls for a gauge of 25 stitches. I don't even remember. I think I had something like, I don't even know. 20? Anyways, I think I had something like 20 or 21 stitches. So I was definitely way off. And I couldn't understand why. Like, my gauge is usually never that off. So I put it away. And then one day when my head was feeling a little clearer, I picked it up and I was looking at it again. I was looking at the yarn. I was looking at the thickness and I thought, this is not a fingering yarn. So I grabbed the label and I was looking at it and looking. I was like, wait, but it doesn't even say on here anywhere what weight it is. It just doesn't say. And it also doesn't say a gauge. The needle sizes it recommends were the same as the pattern called for. And I'm sure that when I ordered this on the website, it was under the fingering section. So I wasn't sure. And I went back on the website and I was looking around for the yarn. And this exact same yarn I saw pop up in the worsted section, like under the worsted category. And then I was looking again under some different categories, and the same yarn again was in the DK section. And then the same yarn again was in the sport section. I was like, what going on? Like, I ordered this yarn because it was listed under the fingering, and now I come back and I look and they have it under every category. Like, it can't just fit every category. It has to be one weight, unless I'm losing my mind, but that's my understanding. So anyways, I ripped the whole thing out, and I'm just gonna, I checked my gauge before I ripped it out. I was at 20 or 21 stitches, something like that. So I did a little bit of math, and I said, I'm just gonna cast it on again at that gauge with those needles. And after doing a little bit of math, I found the size that I would need for the bust for myself with the ease that I wanted at that gauge would be a size small. So I cast on the number of stitches. So that was 2 sizes down from the original size that I knit. So I cast on those stitches and I started again at that moment, like right after I took it out and wound it up, because I knew if I didn't do it then, I just wouldn't do it. So I did it, I knit it again. The first time I knit it took me about a week. Second time, same thing, took me about a week, maybe a day or two less. And I was so happy. I took it off the needles, it fit perfectly. You know, just I needed to block it because of the drop stitches that create this pretty pattern, this pretty design feature. I needed to open them up. And here's where I went wrong again, because this is cotton, so I probably shouldn't have wet blocked it. Because cotton doesn't have much of a memory. So it doesn't kind of bounce back. Like if it grows, it just grows and stretches out. And so while it fit exactly the way I wanted to pre-blocking, after I blocked it, it was way too big again and far too wide and way too gappy here. And I just was like, oh my goodness, I don't want to do this anymore. Breathe. So I said, at this point, I don't even care anymore if I ruin it. I took a spray bottle. I sprayed all the parts that were too big, that were stretched out, like the sides, under the arms, and the straps. Sprayed them all, got them really wet. Other parts were dry. And I tossed it in the dryer and I put it in for 10 minutes. Checked it, it was still wet. Put it in again, another 5 minutes. Put it back in again, another 10 minutes. By the end of it, it was an hour in the dryer. Finally had dried, finally was fitting somewhat better. But if I'm honest, I'm still not crazy about the fit. I think I'm going to just wet it again and throw it in the dryer, because for me, it is still, while I love the length, and I'll talk about my modifications in the knitting for that, I don't like this. What is this? Why? It didn't do this before I blocked it. And after I blocked it, like, I didn't pin it or anything. I literally just like rolled it up in the towel, then laid it flat on the blocking mats. I didn't stretch it out. I didn't need it to grow. I knew it would grow a bit, and I don't mind this part here. It's just this saggy thing. What can I do there? I don't even know, but it's really bothering me to the point, like, I don't want to wear it. It's at the back too. It's the front and the back. It's just saggy, you know? So in terms of the pattern, I wanted it a bit longer. I know the pattern is cropped. I knit my body a total of 10 inches. So I did 8 inches of stockinette, and then I did 2 inches of hem. I was going to make the straps a bit longer as well. In fact, I did knit them a couple rows extra, but then I went back and I took them out and I said, no, I don't want it to stretch. So took them out. And obviously I know there's some rowing out. You can see, like, when I went from knitting in the round, which was down here, to knitting flat, whatever, it is what it is. Again, I wasn't blocking it aggressively, so it didn't really block out, but I don't mind it. The only thing I don't like is this thing. I mean, am I being too picky here? I've seen it on some people and they're wearing it and it's really loose and baggy, and I wanted something loose and baggy over my big elephant pants here, but I don't know, guys, tell me, like, should I try again in the dryer? Maybe I'll just wet this part, because that's what I had done before. I had just wet the sides and the straps. So maybe now I'll just wet this part and try to shrink this up, because I don't like this. So anyways, that is the story behind my outline tank. I mean, the pattern was very straightforward, very easy to follow. None of these problems that I'm having is any fault of the pattern. This is the fault of the yarn. And okay, yeah, I should have checked the gauge, blah, blah, blah. That was my fault. I adjusted the size, but I still think it's the fact that it's this particular cotton yarn. Like, I don't know. Would I knit this pattern again? Yes. I think I do want another one. I want it in a different yarn, maybe something that's like, maybe with some silk or some linen or a combination. But I'm like, this is so soft. It really is nice. I don't like these things, these wingy things here. So let me know your opinions. I'm sorry. I know that was like, what the heck? That was like 16 minutes of me rambling on about my issues that I had knitting this with the cotton yarn. But yeah, I mean, it's a quick knit, so it's not like I invested too much time, and it is good for summer. I don't know. Or if I were to use this yarn again, like maybe I'd do an extra small, I don't know. But I mean, I never usually go for those sizes because I am not an extra small or a small person. I am big and tall and 5'10" and, you know, nearly 200 pounds. Like, I followed the measurements. It was a mess up with the yarn and the label and the way it was listed on the yarn store's website. So now I know. Now I know. So let me know what you think I should do about that. All right, so moving on to another finished object. It is boiling hot in here right now, but I am going to put this on to show you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to change out of this and just put a plain white tank top on. I'll be back in just a second. Okay, I'm back. I know for you that was just like a split second, but it took me like a minute. So I am wearing the Cinna Cardi. I cast this on, I don't remember, sometime in April maybe. It was going really quickly, and then I took a quick break in March because I had finished the body and all I had to do was do the sleeves and the shawl collar here. So I thought, let me take a break and do that outline tank for like a week and then come back to it. But then the outline tank took obviously a little bit longer. So I came back to it, but it's been so hot that I just wasn't in the mood to put it on and show you. Anyways, so it's been washed and blocked, and of course I realized I forgot to sew in some ends, but I love it so much. Let me show you. Okay, so this is my Cinna Cardi. I mean, come on. Look at these sleeves. I love it. I love it. They're cuffed. So, you know, you could just wear them normal like this. I love how big the sleeves are and puffy. There's different options for sleeves. I knit the puff sleeve option. Like there's more ends I have to weave in. So this is going to be perfect for me for winter. I'm always running hot, so especially when I'm at work, I always wear short sleeves or tanks, even in our winters in Canada, but I'll throw a cardi over and then it's all day on and off at work. So I love the length of it. This to me is the perfect cardigan. This is right up there with my Radvent cardigan. I love it so much. I love where the shoulder sits. Everything about it is perfect. It's a DK weight pattern. Okay. And I knit it with holding a fingering yarn together with a mohair. So the fingering weight, I used everything that I had. So the fingering weight was a beautiful purpley pinky variegated colorway by To the Max Yarn Co., who is now Frankie Gray Fibers, and I love their yarn. And the mohair was I think it was called light pink or petal pink or soft pink or something like that by it was Le Petit Silk Mohair by Bichet Bouche, and it just softened up the colors so much and they worked so well together. I did not alternate skeins, and I don't even think it shows. That's how awesome the dyer is. The only thing with the pattern was a little mix up on my part. I did everything. I didn't change anything in terms of sizes, measurements, anything. I did no modifications. The only thing I did wrong was I forgot to go up the needle size, and I think the body and the ribbing or I'm forgetting now and I don't have it with me. I believe the body was knit on the smaller needle size, like 4.5 millimeter, but for the sleeves and the ribbing, you were supposed to go up. Well, I don't know about the ribbing, don't quote me on that one. But for the sleeves, definitely you're supposed to go up a needle size to a 5 millimeter. It's getting hot in here. So I did not, I completely forgot. I knit the whole first sleeve and then I realized, uh-oh, I forgot to go up a needle size. So this was the sleeve on the 4.5 millimeter. And this is also the sleeve on a 4.5 millimeter, but because I had realized before starting the sleeve that I should have gone up a needle size, what I did was I just knit, I was knitting this one a lot looser, so then it would still be big and puffy. And what happened is when I blocked it and it was time to block, I blocked this sleeve out pretty aggressively, so it would be the same measurement as I got on this sleeve, which I had done at like much looser knitting. I have to take this off, I'm sorry. It is so hot. Okay. But I highly recommend this. In the pattern and all the pictures and the projects, she designed it in a DK weight. But I did see a few people do the mix of the finger and the mohair, and I just loved the soft little halo it gave it. And the other thing in the pattern is she had the designer, who is Maven Crafted, Rachael of Maven Crafted. She had done one color for the body and a different color for the ribbing and the collar. One second. I'm talking fast. Am I talking fast? Okay. I'm so hot. So she had hers 2 colors, and honestly the 2 colors just wasn't doing anything for me. And I'm not a visual person. Like, sorry, I am a visual person. Like, I need to see something to know if I like it. When I saw it in the 2 contrasting colors, I didn't really like it much. But I'm also not creative in the way to think, oh, what if I just did it all in one color? Not that you have to be super creative to come up with that idea. It just didn't dawn on me. And then I had seen Reshma of Hello Lavender post some pictures of her finished cardigan that she did in the fingering and the mohair, and she just did the whole thing in one color. And that's when I knew exactly what I was going to do, and found the yarn, and everything fell into place. So as much as I love summer, I can't wait for some cooler weather to be able to wear that. Between my Cinna Cardi and my Radvent Cardi that I showed you in, like, I think the last episode, I love cardigans. I'm so much more a cardigan person than a pullover person. So I don't know, I maybe I'll knit more, maybe I'll knit more of the same ones. I don't know, but I'm really happy with them so far. Okay, so that was the Cinna Cardi. It was a very easy pattern to follow. Honestly, the only thing, I loved the purling detail for those pearl bumps on the sleeve from the shoulder down all the way down the sleeves. Picking up the stitches was so easy. I used to be so scared of patterns where people would say you have to pick up stitches. I don't even know why. And then I knit a Stephen West shawl 2 years ago. The first one I did, the Slipstravaganza, which took me like, I don't even know how many months to complete because I kept starting and stopping. But I learned so many things through that, and his video was so clear, just picking up stitches. It was so simple. I don't know why in my head I made it out to be something that would be so scary. And then the only other thing was when knitting the beautiful huge collar that I absolutely adore, there was some short row shaping, and I had only ever just done short rows once before, and it was very, no, that's not true. Twice before. Once in a Stephen West shawl, in the Shawlography, and once in, what was it? Oh, the ranunculus. And that was another thing I used to be really, really scared of, was short rows. When people would say short rows, I had no idea what they were talking about. And yeah, it seems so simple to just hop onto YouTube and search how to do short rows. But instead of doing that and clearing up the mystery, I just kept making it out to be something horrific in my head that I would never be able to do, that only really super experienced people could do. And I was wrong, because Stephen West broke it down so clearly. The pattern in the ranunculus, it was written well, but because I had already done it in the Stephen West shawl, I understood what they were telling me to do. But in this pattern, in the Cinna Cardi pattern, the designer just wrote DS for double stitch, and then in the glossary, she explained double stitch is another word for short rows, and she linked a video. But when she said another term for short rows, I didn't even click on the video. I just read through the pattern, and where she said make a double stitch, I just moved the yarn from back to the front and turned it into a double stitch. And I guess because I had those other 2 experiences with the short rows, it helped me to feel more comfortable with this and to know what to do, even though it was written slightly different to the other short row patterns that I had done. So that brings me to, that brings me to my third final finished object, which is my Shawlography. Do you remember, I think it was episode 1, I had shown this and it was still just, I think, up to this point, maybe. And I was not even caring about it and was so ready to rip it out, and I asked opinions, and some people had told me to keep going, but I didn't want to listen. And then one day, again, with this concussion, I had a lot of time sitting around. Even though I was recovering, I was bored. And I had just cast off a couple projects that I was working on. So I was like, what am I gonna do now? And this bag was there that had this in it, this project bag. And I thought, oh, I actually want to finish that now. I want to work on it. I had a desire to work on it. And I hadn't had that desire to work on it or pick it up and knit on it in months. So here it is. I'm really, really happy. Let me start on this side. I am so happy that I didn't give up and didn't rip it out, because I feel so weird showing it like this and not my face. Anyhow. So I'm really happy that I didn't rip it out. I just adore the colors. You see, what happened is when everybody was making theirs through this MCAL, the mystery knit along, I didn't like the border, and I think many people had that issue where they didn't like the border and just didn't know what to do instead of it. And so many people did different things, and I had seen some other ones that I liked. But again, I wasn't in the headspace to try to figure out what their instructions were. And I thought, oh, you know what, Kat, just go ahead and do it. So I put the colors together in an order that I liked. And I don't even know what to say. I love it so much. I really, really love it. Look at that. I think it's so pretty. And I know it's kind of big to wear in the summer, but it's summer colors. So I don't even know what I'm gonna do, but hey, there's nothing wrong. And like I said, you remember I said I'm not really a neutral person. So I don't think I'll have any problem throwing this on even through the winter, you know. It's just so pretty. I love the mix of the neons and the pastels. What do you think? What do you think? Let me know. I mean, I'm so happy. I think this is my favorite section right here. The mix of the peach with this Club Tropicana color from Spectrum Fiber. I have to figure out how I want to put it on. I don't even know. I like when there's like a lot of volume around my neck. I mean, I think that looks really cute. I love the mix of the colors and the textures. Okay, I'm getting hot again. It's too hot to do this. It's too hot. But it would even look really nice just, you know, if you're out like a summer evening or a spring evening and you just need something to throw over your shoulders, like if you have a little summer dress on. I mean, look at that. And it's not huge as It's not as huge as the other Stephen West shawl that I made, the Slipstravaganza. That's enormous, but it blocked out pretty big. Like, I was worried it wouldn't be big enough because I like things really big. How pretty is that? Look at it. Okay. So that's the end of my FOs. I don't have any more finished objects. I hope 3 is enough for you. It's been 2 months, and honestly, I finished all those, I think at the end of May. Like, I've been working on different things in June. Yeah. Okay, so I have 2 whips, and that's it right now. So the first one is living in my little llama bag from the kitchen sink shop, and I took it to the park with my kids and I got it dirty, so I need to wash it. But I am knitting the Flutter butt shirt by Jessie Maed of Jessie Maed Designs, and it won't look like anything to you here because I knit the body, I split for the front and the back, so now I basically finished the front, but I'm doing the shoulder shaping right here. All right, it's very drapey. I adore the color. It's going to be quite see-through, but hey, it's summer. I love the drape. This is, what yarn am I using? I am using Knitting for Olive Pure Silk. It's my first time knitting with this, and it's different. That doesn't say much to you, does it? It's saying it's different. Doesn't tell you much. It's different from other fingering weight yarns and other materials. This is Knitting for Olive Pure Silk in the color Raspberry Pink. Okay, there we go. I picked this up at the Knitting Loft. I think that was a bit blurry, sorry. I don't know how to describe this. It splits easily. It splits easily. Like, it's a couple strands wound together, a couple plies, I think is what you call it. But like, that's what it looks like in the ball, but then when you're knitting it, you don't really see that. I don't know if I can get that up close for you. I love this color so much. So I'll put a picture in of the pattern, but like of the odd item, but I don't know if you can see. Oh, there, that's better. That is the Flutter butt shirt. I just haven't decided if I want to have ruffles at the bottom. I'll definitely do the ruffles on the sleeves. I'm just not sure yet about the bottom. I mean, I probably will. I'm not very good at coming up with my own ideas for switching things around. The only modification I have done so far is for the body. I didn't want it. Yeah, I didn't want it that cropped. So it told me for the size that I'm knitting, which is the 4th size, it said to knit the body to 5.25 inches. And then there's room for the ruffle hem. I knit mine to 8.25 inches. And to be honest, I wasn't going to knit it that long. So that's about an extra 3 inches from what she recommended. I wasn't going to knit it that long. However, I was doing something. Was I watching TV? I don't know. And I knit like an inch longer than I had planned to, and I just said, whatever, I'm leaving it. I have a pretty long torso, so again, I'm tall, so I think it'll work out. I don't want it to be too long, but I can always, if I decide to do the ruffle, just not knit it 3 inches. I could do it less. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not as scared of ripping things out anymore as I used to be. I used to be like, oh, I put so much time into it. I don't want to have to rip it out. I don't feel that way anymore. Anyone else? Okay, so I have one more whip. And that is my Gnome blanket, the Gnome squares that I'm knitting, or Gnome rectangles, not knitting, crocheting. I have fallen way behind on this. It's supposed to be 1 Gnome a month, and then by the end of the year, you have 12 gnomes to sew together and have a blanket. I'm just knitting it from a bunch of acrylic yarn that I've had sitting around and not knowing what to do with it. And I love gnomes, so it just seemed like a perfect match. But I've fallen behind. I have really fallen behind. Let me show you. So I had to skip March is Gnome, because I, again, was not feeling well, and I was missing. I didn't have one of the colors that I needed for the March Gnome, and I just have not been in the mood to go to the store and get it. So instead I started April's Gnome. There we go. So April's Gnome is like a gnome with, he's like got bunny ears coming out of his hat. I don't have, do I have a picture of it? No, I don't. I just have the graph. No, sorry. I'll try to put a picture in. I don't know. I'm not sure if I will. But, you know, he's about halfway done. But still, I'm so behind. I was so gung-ho about this project, and I've just lost steam. I don't know what it is. Maybe it'll come back. It doesn't even take long. Like the first one I made it in 1 night. And then the second one, again, I wasn't feeling great with the concussion. Took me about a week. And same thing with this one. It's just been start and stop, start and stop. And I think I just get so annoyed with all the yarns tangling from the different colors. I've got to come up with a better system, but it'll be really cute when it's done. My children are already arguing over who's going to get it. I'm like, that's mommy's. Okay. So that's the end of my knitting and crocheting. I have a couple acquisitions that I was going to show you, and then just chat books and life. So if you're not interested in that, then thank you so much for sticking around this far. Please leave me a comment, say hi, tell me where you're from, you know, just let me know you're here and you stopped by. And now we're moving on to acquisitions. So the first thing I wanted to show you was these adorable little stitch markers. I don't think I showed these last time. I think they arrived after the last podcast. Oh well. If I show them to you already, then you get to see them twice. I mean, there's no harm in that. They're just adorable. Look at this little guy. This is a snail. Little clay miniature. I'm trying to hide my face so that it focuses. A little miniature snail with a ladybug on top. And this is a little pickle. How cute. So those are from Charmed and Dangerous. And I just got a little narwhal from her in her last update. So that should probably arrive in about another week or so. The next thing I got was, I think everybody's heard of Martina from the We Grow Wild knitting podcast. But if you haven't, check it out. I don't know how you would be watching mine if you haven't seen hers yet. But hey, stranger things have happened. Anyways, she makes these incredible olive wood buttons, and I just happened one day to open up her Ko-Fi and saw that they were in the shop. Usually they're sold out or unavailable. So I guess I had just caught it, and like, okay, let me see. How can I do this? Hold on. Here we go. Oops, dropped one. Can you see that? They're so beautiful. Each one has its own unique pattern. They're a little bit rounded on the top. I'm going to put these. Did I drop one? I may have dropped one. No. Anyways, I'm going to put them on my Radvent, I think, on my Radvent cardigan, because I think they'll go perfectly. There are 5 of them. I thought there were 6. Maybe there's 5. I don't know. But they arrived so fast. And I forgot to actually tell Martina. Some people were saying they didn't get their post from Italy or whatnot. And I understand sometimes I have friends and family who live in Europe, and when they send me things, sometimes it takes really insane amount of time to get here. But these arrived in less than a week of me ordering them. Sorry. Less than a week of me ordering them. So that was perfect. I'm so excited about those. And the other things I ordered was from the Grocery Girls Knit. Look at that. Knitting sister sheep wearing knit hats, knit socks. I mean, isn't that just adorable? That's just the cutest thing I've ever seen. I'm adding this to my other knitting sheep watercolors, and I'm gonna hang them up. The story behind this, if you saw my first episode, is I had ordered this, and I don't know if my son grabbed it or if I was cleaning up and put it in a safe place, but it's gone missing. So I saw they were still in the shop, so I got another one. And I also, if you saw this bracelet I'm wearing, got this little leather cuff from them. I got the brown one with little knit stitches on it. And this doubles as either a bracelet or a shawl cuff. So I could be wearing my shawl if I wanted to, and I could, this shawl's a bit thick, but I could put I also have really thick wrists, so I was shocked that it even fit me, but there's 2 sizes on it. So look at that. It holds it in place. Perfect. I mean, I didn't really put my shawl on very nicely there, but you get the idea. Now I'm boiling hot, so that's coming off. And the last thing I was going to show you is some yarn that I got from an online store here in Toronto called Skein Appeal. And I ordered this vacuum sealed so that it would be cheaper shipping, because our shipping in Canada is just ridiculous with our Canada Post. I honestly don't know what they're thinking. But this is a Ken yarn color that was part of the Mean Girls collection. And I think he did that. I don't even know when he did it. I think he did it over a year ago. And I missed out at the time on this particular color. So when I saw that Skein Appeal brought it in to their shop, I thought, oh, I have to have that color. It's called I'm a Mouse, Duh. And I believe that is from it is from the movie Mean Girls. It's a quote from that movie. I think I'm probably like one of the only people left in the world who hasn't seen that movie. So I have plans for this. My plans could change, but as of right now, these are to knit a summer tank top that is called the Plumeria, I think. We'll see. That could change, but those are my intentions, and those were my intentions when I ordered it. Oh, and this thing staring right at me. This was from Grocery Girls Knit as well. It's the Tuft Woolens. Oh. That's not the one I ordered. Oops. I ordered Blueberry Lemonade and they sent me Lavender Apple. It's okay. It smells nice. It's just not Blueberry Lemonade. And I'm not crazy about lavender, but it's all right. Everybody messes up sometimes. Not a big deal. I'm not even going to bother with it. So that's the end of my acquisitions. A little bit of water. All right, I'm going to have to leave soon to pick my kids up from school, so I'll make this quick. Books, I know I'm late to the party here, but I finally read A Court of Thorns and Roses. If you don't know about it, it's a fantasy genre about like fairies and humans and mingling, and there's like misunderstandings, and there's a female heroine, and it was just really good. The beginning I thought was a bit slow, but then I couldn't put it down. So I really, really enjoyed that, to the point where I'm reading the second book in the series now called A Court of Mist and Fury. Only just started it, so I can't really comment on that. I've also picked up again Where the Crawdads Sing. So every now and then I go back to that and read it. Everybody's telling me it's really good, but I'm waiting for that part to come. Because so far it's boring me a little bit, but that's okay. I will give it a chance. And as for life, so that's it for my reading. Life, things have been finally moving in the right direction. I told you the last couple weeks, I feel like I've turned a corner with my concussion symptoms. Between all the treatments I'm getting, the kinesiology program, the physio, the acupuncture, the new migraine medication, everything is finally starting to work together to give me some relief and let me live my life again. So I definitely still have symptoms. I'm not 100% back to normal, but I'm so close to being there. I am in a 12-week program right now, which is 3 to 4 days a week of intense treatments. That's hard, especially now that my kids are going to be coming on summer break, but I have to do it. I have to put myself first. I've also been increasing my workouts that I'm doing here at home again, and I believe that that is what is also helping me to progress a lot faster, because so many studies have shown, recent studies have shown that cardio is a major help in terms of retraining the brain not to interpret everything as danger after concussions, for concussion patients. So I'm learning so much that I had no idea about any of this with the concussions. So things are going well. Things are finally moving in the right direction. we're getting ready for summer around here. Let me see if I can turn the camera and show you. Just a few days ago, oops, I'm so sorry for the shaking. Let's see. I don't know if you can see, it's so bright outside, but just a few days ago we opened up the pool. It's still a little bit murky and blue-green. Oh, there you go. It's kind of cleared up a little bit there. I don't know. Maybe? Yes? No? So my kids are so excited to hopefully be swimming maybe on the weekend. I don't know. It's almost right. We're just trying to get the levels right, and there's still a little bit of algae that needs to be cleaned up. But we're good. We're good. Overall, things are really good. And the kids are all excited to be almost to the end of the school year. So, you know, what else can you ask for? So I'm not going to ramble on any longer. I'm going to leave it at that. I'm so thankful that you found my little channel here and stopped by. I hope you liked what you saw. I'm going to have more projects on the way on the needles, hopefully soon. And what can I say? If you liked it, please give a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the like button, write a comment. I hate saying these things, but that YouTube algorithm, you know, like the more people that like it or watch longer or leave a comment, then they'll show the video to more people. And you wouldn't think that something as simple as clicking a like button makes a difference, but holy moly, does it ever make a difference? And I hope I'll have another video for you soon. Now that I'm feeling a bit better. I mean, you know, it was so hard, like, it's so silly. Whenever I wanted to make a video, either I wasn't feeling great, or, you know, my kids were making noise, or something so silly like, oh, my hair was up and I prefer when it's down. And today I just said, you know what? It's okay. This is life. This is what my hair looks like. I worked out this morning. It's so hot. I didn't want to stand under the hair dryer, so my hair is up. And I'm going to record anyways. And I did. And I'm happy I did, because we're too hung up on this stuff. You know, what's the big deal? So I put my hair up. What's the big deal? Anyways, have a great day, friends. I will see you next time. Bye.